Well, good afternoon. So another cooking show with Gigi. So today I am making a bundt cake, chocolate bundt cake with sour cream. And I'm getting ready to start it. I have 2 sticks of butter, which is a cup, unsalted butter, in my saucepan. And I'm going to melt that, and I'm going to add some things to it. So here we go. I'm going to turn that on, get it kind of going here. I'm going to let it start melting a little bit before I start really adding everything. But I do have 1/3 cup of cocoa. I do have 1 cup of water. And it needs 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. This is my kosher salt. So I'm going to let this sit here for a minute and kind of melt the butter, and then I'm going to add the other ingredients. So my butter is starting to melt now, and so I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/3 cup of cocoa. This is Hershey's cocoa. My 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then my 1 cup of water, and just tap water, cool water. It doesn't have to be hot or anything like that. And really the goal here is just to get this all kind of mixed together and get it kind of hot. We're not going to boil it. We're just going to get it so that it's cooked well enough to mix everything together. No boiling. You don't want to boil this. So this is a cake that I'm going to make for a friend who has a birthday tomorrow. And now I'm trying to wait and hear what my granddaughter Megan wants for her birthday. It is today. She's been busy. I've been busy, and we haven't figured it out. So she said she'd let me know around lunchtime what she'd like me to make for her. That's kind of my tradition, to make my grandchildren and children something special. Since I'm kind of into cooking, that's kind of the way that I show my love. Foodie. I'm a foodie, as you can tell. Anyway, so we're gonna let this just get hot. I'm gonna stir it the entire time, so you know you don't want it to stick. And I have it kind of on a medium, a lower medium. Just trying to get it all melted, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so now my chocolatey mixture is all melted. I did not let it boil. I'm gonna set that aside. And now I am mixing up some flour, sugar, and baking soda. This is my 2nd cup of flour. It takes 2 cups of flour. I need to get my sugar. So now I'm ready to whisk in my flour and sugar and baking soda together. So here we have 1 3/4, we have 2 cups of flour, 1 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. Then we need 1 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So 1 1/2 baking soda. Now we need to whisk that together. So we're just going to whisk it together, get it all stirred up nicely, just like so. Is everybody getting antsy about putting up their Christmas decorations? Well, some people like to put them up really early and some people don't. But it's now after Thanksgiving, and so I think it's kind of more acceptable after Thanksgiving to get your Christmas decorations up. But honestly, you should do what you want to do. Everybody has a different thing they want to do, and that's how I try to live my life, and I'll let everybody else do the same. Okay, I'm going to get some things ready here for the next step. So I did make sure that my dry mixture was well combined and mixed together. Now I need to add half of my liquid mixture to the dry mixture. So I'm going to pour about half of that in, like so. And I'm going to mix that up with my wooden spoon. You're supposed to realize it is going to be a little thick, but you just, directions say do half and then do the other half. So Gigi tries to follow the directions. Okay, so that's pretty thick, like it said. Put a little bit more in there. Do it a little at a time. I think it's going to be pretty yummy. It's looking rich and yummy and chocolatey. Okay, getting that in. Okay, I'm gonna pour in the rest. We'll set that over in the sink to get it out of our way. All right, so I'm just gonna try to get this all stirred in really well, not make a big mess if possible. I tend to slop things around sometimes. I think being a messy cook is sometimes okay, as long as everything turns out well. Well, I did get one Christmas present wrapped up this morning. It's a big one that I bought for the baby, Nolan. It's kind of a little rocking horse that you sit on. It's plastic and he can rock away on it. I think he'll like that. His mommy suggested that would be a good gift. I like to get them something that, you know, they don't have. That will be fun for their age. Okay, so I've about got this ready to go, but I want to make sure I have it all incorporated well. I need to get my pan ready, but I'm going to be adding eggs before that. Now I need to go ahead and add my eggs one at a time, and it needs 2 eggs. So there's my first egg. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that egg in there. I have made this cake before. It is good. It has some sour cream in it, so I got to work on getting that in. I think that's the last thing that goes. Okay, there's 1 egg, pretty well incorporated there. And here comes the second egg. Oh, I don't know. I just like to cook. I think I got this from my mom. She was a big cook. You know, she had to cook when we were growing up because there were so many of us, 5 kids. And so, you know, years ago, eating out wasn't one of the things we did a lot. Maybe we'd get a pizza from the Pizza King once in a while. But she did a lot of cooking, and her mom, of course, lived out on the top of a mountain and at a dead-end road that she cooked a lot because they didn't even hardly get to go to town or anything. I can remember Mom talking about never getting a store-bought dress until she was 16 years old. Her mom made all her clothes for her. Okay, the eggs are incorporated. So now I'm ready for my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And that is 1 teaspoon. Okay, and a 1/2 cup of sour cream. That's the last thing we put in, the vanilla and the sour cream. I guess the sour cream will just give it kind of a tangy taste, and it makes the cake tender. So we'll mix those 2 things in. Just kind of lightly mix. We don't want to beat it or anything. Just kind of fold that all in there. I tend to keep sour cream on hand because I use it for a lot of things. I think I have a blueberry muffin recipe that I put sour cream in muffins. Really yummy. I'm going to keep mixing this in and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have my pan ready and I'm going to spray it really well. I don't want my cake to stick, so I want to make sure I get everything in there sprayed really well. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of flour, not a whole lot. I'm going to dust it around in the pan because I think that helps your cake to release better. Now, it might look a little white on my cake, but I'm going to put a ganache type icing on the cake anyway, so you won't be able to see it. It'll be all good. Okay, kind of move that around in there. That'll help. Okay. So now I'm just going to put my batter into my pan. My stove is, or my oven is warming up. Here we go. Make sure that's in there really good. I just saw a little bit of sour cream that didn't get mixed in. Okay, so here we are. We're going to pour that in to that pan. Looks good. Everything's turning out well, it looks like to me. All right, I'm gonna get all that scraped in there. I don't wanna leave any of it behind. As soon as my oven is ready, I'm gonna pop this in there, and it takes between 40 to 45 minutes to bake. And when it comes out, we will check it out and get some icing on it. Okay, so this cake is out of the oven and it smells delicious and it's looking really yummy. I need to let it cool for just a couple of minutes, then I'm going to turn it over on top of my cake pan where it has a cover over it so that after I ice it, I can protect it. Okay, I'm gonna let it cool and then I'm gonna put my icing, or it's kind of like a ganache on top. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add a half a cup of heavy cream into a saucepan with 1.5 tablespoons of regular granulated sugar. So 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and heat that up. And in the meantime, I do have a 4-ounce bar of this unsweetened, like cacao bar. It's kind of a, get the box here. It's called Unsweetened Baker's Unsweetened, and there's 4 ounces in that bar. I have that chopped up in my bowl. And I'm going to add some Karo syrup to that. 1.5 teaspoon of Karo syrup. So I'll work on that while I'm letting this warm up over here. Stir that a little bit because it's starting to heat up. And I want to get my sugar dissolved into my cream. We're not going to boil this cream. We're just trying to get it hot, get that sugar dissolved in there. Like I said, I need 1.5 teaspoons of corn syrup in my chocolate here. So we'll get that going. Well, the cake is out and I turned it over. It's on the pan waiting for the icing to be poured over it. 1 teaspoon. Just gonna pour this over the chocolate in the bowl. And once the cream is all hot, we'll just pour that over it. So there's 1 teaspoon. And I'm just gonna fill that teaspoon up with about 1/2. We'll get that going. Okay, so that's about 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna let that sit in there and I'm gonna melt that in there. Okay, this cream is getting hot with the sugar. Let it get nice and get it kind of hot because we want it to melt the chocolate. Okay, I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. I'm going to do a little something special on top of it, I think. I'm going to cut up some Reese Cup candies and put it on top of the cake. Make it look really kind of festive and have a little extra taste to it. Okay, so this is nice and hot. I did not want to boil it, and I didn't. So I'm pouring that over the chocolate and the corn syrup. And I'm going to let that kind of melt on there. I'm going to go ahead and rest that corn syrup melted off my spoon too. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. I'm going to just get a regular spoon out here. I'm just going to let that set for a bit. In the meantime, I'm going to get some of these candy bars opened up. And I'm gonna cut them up. I gotta open them up, take them out of the wrapper. And I'm gonna chop them up into little pieces that I can put over the top of the cake. So I'm just gonna slowly stir this. You can see that it's kind of melting. It's gonna take a little bit of stirring to get that all to where you want it. I think it'll thicken up quite a bit too. Kind of excited to make this cake for Carol. I hope she'll really like it. I think as it cools off, it thickens a little bit. I'm doing that. I've been opening up some of my little Reese cups, getting them ready. I'm letting my cake cool. It's not cool yet, so we don't want to get too big a hurry. Okay, I'm gonna let everything cool off, the icing, the cake. I'll cut up the Reese cups. Just to let you see, as I'm stirring this and as it's cooling, it is getting thicker. See there? Oh yeah. It's gonna be really good stuff when I put that on that cake. Wow. It's really pretty easy to make too, as you saw. Okay, I'm getting my candy kind of chopped up. I don't want it like in too many crumbs. I want some big enough pieces that you can tell that it's Reese cups. So I'm gonna get that ready, and this cake is gonna be done before we know it. And I'm happy to get this ready for her. I'd kind of like to drop it off today if the weather is permitting for me to drive on the roads. I've not been out since we had the big snowstorm. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and I'll be back. Okay, folks, I'm gonna start putting this ganache over the cake. I have went ahead and put some wax paper kind of down on the edges at the bottom in case when the ganache kind of pours over the sides, and if it goes down, I can clean it up a little bit. It'll look better. I'll continue to put this on, and I'll be right back. I have the ganache all spread around the top, so I'm gonna kind of give it a little smear around and let it kind of drip down a little bit, or just kind of ice it on, one of the other, whichever works out best. Kind of spearing that on a little bit. And I'm just gonna put some of those little Reese cookies on top, which will be pretty yummy. I can hardly wait to see how it looks when I get done. Letting that, just let it kind of do its thing, whatever that might be. Okay, now then. So I have these little Reese candies, and I'm just gonna sprinkle them or place them however I would like to see them on the cake. Just like that. You know, I wanted to make a peanut butter roll up, like a pumpkin roll, but I just not that experienced at making those rolls. I'll have to practice on that. Someday maybe I can do that, and I can share that with you on my cooking show. I'm sure some of you have done that. I would like to hear some advice from you if you have, so that I could maybe be successful doing that. So anyway, this is going to be Carol's birthday cake. It's a chocolate bundt cake. It's got sour cream in it, which will make it really tender and probably really, really moist, with this little bit of candy on top with the ganache. Looking pretty good if you ask me. I'm pretty excited about it. I would love to have a piece of it, but I shall not. I shall hold back and let her have her birthday cake. Probably will try to deliver it today or tomorrow. Her birthday is tomorrow, December the 1st. All right, now I'm going to take these little pieces of wax paper out. We didn't have any real big messes, just a little bit. Pull that out from under the bundt cake, just like that. And then here we go. Check that out. Reese cup chocolate bundt cake. Wow, yummy. All right, just another episode of Cooking with Gigi. And if you have any suggestions of something I should try to make, I'd be happy to give it a try. If you like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will be putting how you make this cake in the description area. Thank you so much.